Welcome to part 2 of our Christmas stamps. We're going to be trying to replicate these this year. These are stamps that I made last year, and I'm just going to go over and get them all updated and everything. You will remember that in a previous video, we went and made several shapes. That was actually a 3-part series there. So in my shapes, I have these stars. We're going to use this one, and we're going to tap on the screen. And let's go a little bit bigger. I'm going to put this star at 65%. There we go. However, the lines on this star are just a little too thin, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to select inside the star, and we're going to select outside the star and make sure that we got all this extra ziggity zaggity stuff selected. And we're going to clear it. And that way, when I do a Gaussian blur, it's not going to have a bunch of up and downs and zigzags and whatnot. So we're going to Gaussian blur here. And let's go to 1.5, 2%. 2% looks good. And now we're going to do an automatic selection again. But this time we're going to go down until it is not selecting. The area on the inside. I'm just moving this until I'm not seeing any zigzags or whatnot. And now I will select on the outside, and I will do an invert. And you can see in blue what's going to get colored in. I will say fill layer, and then I will do a selection and clear. That way we don't have any residual stuff inside, and we now have a nice thick star going on here. Let's duplicate this layer. I'm going to make the bottom layer 1 our reference layer, and I'm going to clear the top layer 1. And now we're going to go here to the monoline brush that we created, and we want a nice thick line on that. And yeah, I think I want it to be thicker than the lines here on the star. You can make it the same. I've got it at 15%. And we're going to start here and end here. We're going to make a bunch of wavy lines. But I'm only going to make one wavy line. And I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to make sure that my snapping is on. Let's put the distance to 20. And that way, when we move down, it jumps. And we'll duplicate that. And jump. Duplicate that. And jump. And there we are, jump. If you accidentally select the line here, that's when it's no longer going to jump for you. So you just simply undo, reselect, and let it jump. And I'm just speeding through this portion for you, so you won't have to worry about getting bored. And I have an extra one here at the top area. I'm going to jump all the way to here, and it's not jumping where I want it to, so I'm just tapping down. Until that's filled in. And it looks like the ones at the top need a little work. So we're going to take that one, and that one. I'm going to tap those down. Don't want to go too far. There we go, that looks better. And now what we want to do is remember our lower layer 1 is our reference layer. So we're going to take all these layer 1s that we duplicated and we're going to pinch them together. And I'm pinching them together in series just because it's easier for me to do it that way. I'm then going to select outside of our star and do a clear. And then I'm going to merge this down. We make sure that magnetics is not turned on here for snapping. And then we'll say fit to screen. And we can copy this and go down one to my wreath. And you remember that the Christmas tree was the last one we did in the last video. We're going to duplicate that one. We're going to go to shape, edit, import, paste. Give that a done. Go to about this brush. And we're going to call this one star. And give that a done. So instead of the irregular wiggles that I've got there, I've got even wiggles on it here. And that is the star recreated. Now we're going to recreate the candy. We'll go here to layer 2. And by the way, to set up for this video, I created 15 layers and then I dragged these in from another canvas and put them at the bottom just so we'd have good references going. Alright, so candy, layer 2, and what we want to do is go back to the monoline and we're going to create an oval. We don't want it to be too big. Let's edit, make it a little fatter. That looks about nice. And then what we want to do is set this up for symmetry. So first we're going to select, snapping is turned on so we can snap it to the middle there. And we want to snap it to the middle here, but it seems that these other layers are giving us some problems. We'll turn them off. There we go. And then we can turn these layers back on. Basically, it was snapping to probably the stocking on the layer below because it was turned on. If you turn it off, it no longer snaps to that particular shape. And now we're going to go to Canvas. So we click on the wrench here. We're going to turn on Drawing Guide and do an Edit Drawing Guide. Let's go over here to Symmetry. We want to make sure that we're on vertical symmetry. And we want to choose a line color that we can see easily. I'm real good at seeing green, so I usually choose that. Make sure the opacity is kind of dark. And we'll give this a done. And now what we want to do is create these twist tie ends. So once again, I'm going to duplicate this layer. You don't have to. You can just go up layer, up layer, up layer. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start inside. I'm going to go up and do nice little wiggle shapes like this. And it's okay that that's not a perfect line there. After all, it's a plastic wrapper, so it crumples. And now, let's remove reference from layer 1. We'll go to layer 2 and we will select inside. Go to the top layer 2 and clear. And that gets rid of the little legs there. And if you really want to do this nicely, let's take layer 2 and duplicate it. And on the top layer 2, we're going to close this off. And you'll remember from previous outline brush video that this allows us to do a clear here, and then we can select that shape and clear this one, and we now have perfect corners. And we're going to merge these down. We can delete, well, let's clear this one because I'm actually going to use it. And what we're going to do is make our little decorations here. I'm just making some quick ovals. That match up with where the wrapper is pushing out. And then we will do the circles inside. I will create a circle here. I will edit that shape and then move it by putting my cursor way outside of where the circle is. And moving it until it's all one line. I'm not actually going to turn this into a circle because I want it to be all ovals here. And let's do the same thing down here. We'll create our little oval, edit shape, and selecting outside the shape, like 1 or 2 inches away, I'm moving it back and forth until it's as thin as I can get it. And then we will create quick ovals following the wrapper. And I don't know what brand of candy that is, but I think it looks nice. So now we can merge these three layers, there are 2 layers together. I forgot I already did that merge. And then we will fit the screen. Copy. Go back to wreath. Duplicate that star. Shape. Edit. Import. Paste. Done. About this brush. Whoops. Now, I've told you about this before, and I went and did it myself. Edit. Import. Paste. click Done, or your changes will not take effect. Go to About This Brush. We're going to call this Candy. All of the brushes are done this way. I'm just duplicating them. So we're going to go over these other shapes without actually creating a brush for it. Let's do Snowman on layer 3 here. The drawing assist is not turned on. And I want to create, with my monoline, I want to create a circle. And this is going to be a true circle. So we're holding this here. And then with the finger of our other hand, we are putting that on the screen. And that snaps it to a perfect circle. We then release the stylus, and then we can release the finger. And then we want to make another circle that we're going to put inside. So go up a layer. And basically what I'm trying to do is judge about half the size of the big circle. I want to resize this, so I'm going to grab it, but not by the handles. I'm going in between the handles, and that lets us resize. And that looks good. And then we're going to put it like this. And now we are going to snap both layers to the middle. There we go. I'm going to duplicate the top layer 3 and turn it off. We're going to take the bottom layer 3, select inside, go to the middle layer 3 and clear. Go to the top layer 3, select inside, go to the bottom layer 3 and clear. And that's what gives us our ball on top of ball look. We can now delete the top layer 3 and merge these two down. And then we're going to go up a layer and we're going to create the hat. So we're going to make an almost square, but really it's a rectangle. Edit shape, and it says polyline. I don't like it whenever it says polyline, and that's why it gets opened. So let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Let's choose square, and there we are. Once again, if you select inside the handles, you're going to be resizing it. If you select the handle itself, you're only moving that. So let's go back to square. I'm going to resize that till it's about there. And let's put it right about there. And then I'm going to create the brim of the hat, which I'm going to match up to the bottom of the square. And now we can move this down until the brim of the hat touches the top of that circle. We then select inside, go down, and clear. And then merge these two layers together. And our snowman has a hat. We are still centered. We're going to turn on the symmetry by doing drawing assist. We don't need that on that layer anymore. And now we're going to create our eyes and our smile. And then I'm going to turn the assisted drawing off. And we're going to give them 3 buttons. 1, 2, 3. And now let's give him a broom. Go 1 layer up and create a U shape that goes from just above the brim of his hat to where his neck is. And then let it snap to shape. Gonna edit that and straighten it up a little bit. And then we're going to connect the top, draw a line down in the middle, and then 2 shorter lines on either side, and then a line from the bottom of the broom to the bottom of your snowman. And the reason we put this on another layer is so we could move it closer to our snowman. Not quite that close. Let's change the snapping here. We'll put it down to 8. There we go. And we now have a snowman with a broom. Let's merge these down. Fit the screen. And then we would create a brush with it. And next we're going to do the gift box. And once again, let's use our shapes. I'm going to use the square. And do the same thing with the square that we did before. Select inside and outside and clear to get a nice smooth edge. Gaussian blur 2%. Select and move down, and then select, invert, fill, and then I'm going to duplicate that, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the lid and the center line all at the same time here. So I'm going to use my freehand selection. Let's turn this one off so we can see what we're doing. And we're going to select here in the middle and clear. And that way we can do a freehand selection. And move this down. Let's turn on the magnetics so we can be sure that it's going in a straight line. And that's going to be our ribbon. Let's go ahead and center that. And there we have a ribbon on the box. The box is not centered, so let's center that. There we go. And now let's create the lid. We're going to duplicate both of these. And then we're going to merge those two together because we want the ribbon to be there. And now what we're going to do is make a longer box. So let's turn off these two layers. I'm going to select, and this time I'm going to do a cut. So we'll go to the wrench, the add, and the cut so that we can go up a layer and paste. This is going to be important. We're going to take our layer 5 here, and we're going to move this out. And then we can duplicate this one and move it over. And then merge these three down. And then we select in the middle. And we clear. We'll do the freehand selection and move this one up. And that gives us a lid that we are going to put on the box. Let's go ahead and center. Then move it down. And we want to move it down until it overlaps the top line. We're now going to take this layer 5. We're going to move it up. And we're going to tap it over a little bit. That looks nice. Let's take our lid layer and do an automatic selection on the outside and clear it from here. Merge those down and merge those down. And then we want to create the bow effect. So let's go back to the monoline brush. And we're going to turn the drawing assist on so that we get a nice even bow. Just swoop that like this. And if it doesn't turn out right, do it again. Edit shape. And when you do an edit shape and you move one side, it's going to move both sides. And there we go. We have a bow on top of our present. We will go ahead and fit that to screen. But remember, if you don't turn off the magnetics, you're going to get this. If you don't unselect it, you can go in here, take the magnetics off, fit the screen again, and now it fills the screen where it needs to be. And finally, we're going to do this sock, this stocking. And it's a little difficult, so bear with me. I'm probably going to pause this video, figure out how to do it, and then restart. Well, I looked up at the clock and it was 4 a.m., so I went to bed. And then this morning, which is the next day, I went ahead and figured this out. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a square. Nope. Let's go into my shapes. I've got a square here. I'm going to clear that. And I could fuzz the lines like I did with the last brush, but I'm going to see if I can't get this program to actually give me what I want. A square! Yay! Alright, and then if we look at this square, it's not quite even. So, this is where the yellow box comes in. I'm going to use this to snap it to the bottom. There we go. And we tap, and we say 0, and we now have a perfect square going up and down. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and center this. And then I'm going to map out my sock shape. We go up a layer, and on this layer we're going to make a circle. And that should work just fine. That looks good. So now we just need to duplicate the original square again. And we have actually created, believe it or not, the beginnings of a sock. Let's find that one. There it is. We will select inside of this one, automatic selection. And we will also select the actual circle itself. We will go up here and clear. No, got rid of the wrong thing. Select inside and select the circle, invert, and then clear this. And that gives us the toe of the sock. And then we need to find that lower square, that one. And we select inside of it. Oops. Select inside, there we are. And we're going to clear this. And then we're going to have to start doing erasings, I think. Need to get rid of the middle line on that one. So if I select inside of this, nope. We need to select inside of this one again, and then clear on that one. There we go. And yeah, we're going to have to do some erasings. That one is good. And that one is good. That one we're going to have to get rid of 3/4 of. So we'll go down on the opacity on that one. We'll go down on the opacity of this one. And down on the opacity of this one. So we're going to start with this. And we need to erase like this. And it's a bit overlapping there. Let's fix those. There we go. And that gives us that. And then on this layer, we need to get rid of some intervening stuff. Just like this. And we need to get rid of that center line, which I think is here. Yep. Okay, and we need to get rid of this end line over here. And then we're going to need to get rid of the top line, but not the side there. There we go. Okay. And on our remaining full square, we need to get rid of the bottom. And we seem to still have a line left over, which would be there. Let's see, we need to get rid of the rest of that circle. That one's okay. We need to get rid of this one. Nice and even. So basically I broke the stocking down into its basic shapes, and I seem to have messed up the circle that's over here. Oh, no, I didn't. I just need to take this one and duplicate it, move it over here, angle it like that. There we go. All right. And now we up the opacity on all of these. And with all the little pieces, connected together. We can pinch them. Missed that one. I'll just do a merge down. And we have the beginnings of our stocking. We just need to put the top on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the drawing guide, go to Actions, Edit Drawing Guide in Canvas. Let's go to 2D Grid. I'll make a slightly bigger grid. And Drawing Assist here. And what I need to do is just make that. Take the Drawing Assist off of these. And then I need to do an arc from here to here. That was an ellipse created. We don't want an ellipse. We want an arc. There we go. Now we can edit that. Make sure that the ends match in here okay. I like the way that looks. And then we merge these two layers together. Duplicate and flip horizontal. We move this over slightly so that it's nice and even on both ends. And merge them down. And then we want to make sure that it gets centered. And matched on top. Merge that down. I'm going to take the magnetics and snapping off so that I can decide where do I want to. I'm going to hang it like this. There we go. We have made our stocking to hang by the chimney with care. And we'll fit the screen. And then it's just a matter of taking these other shapes and turning them into brushes by copying that one. As you can see, you don't have to have the layer visible in order to do a copy. All right, so far we have created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lovely stamps. We will continue this next week, and I hope you have a wonderful day.